Hey yogis, thanks for joining. I'm coming to you from the Wave Park Resort in the Mentawai, Indonesia. I've been lucky to score some great waves over the last couple of days, but I'm also feeling pretty sore in my shoulders. So I wanted to record a class for those of you that might be in the same boat, surfers who are feeling a bit surfed out, or maybe you just have sore shoulders from other activities that you're doing. We can all benefit from some shoulder opening, mobility, giving the shoulders some love. So that'll be our focus for this practice. Let's start seated. Simple cross-legged position would be great if you can get there. If you need to make it more comfortable, you could elevate something underneath your seat, maybe with a pillow. And we'll just start by reaching the right hand out to the right. Let your left arm come up and over. So already starting to feel into that outer side of your left shoulder. Let your right elbow bend in toward you. And then you're going to bring your left hand to right around your right bicep. And I want you to feel that the right arm is really strong. So you can pull with your left hand and rotate your ribs to the right. And with your breath, inflate a little bit more into your left shoulder blade. Letting the head be relaxed. Keep this feeling of really strong right arm, pulling with your left hand. And then we'll unwind that. Now you're going to bring your left arm out to the left. Let your head continue to drop to the right. And then let's turn the left palm to face back behind us. Let that arm just drape back behind you. So now we want to feel some nice space in the side of the neck. Letting your head spill over to the right. When we paddle, often the neck gets really tense as well. So starting from this place, I'm just finding release. You might play around a little bit with the orientation of your chin. So maybe see what it feels like to turn your chin toward your right shoulder. Give it one more breath. And then we'll slowly just push off the right hand to come back up to a seated position. If you've got crossed legs, let's switch so we even out. Left hand's gonna reach out to the left. We're gonna allow the left elbow to bend in, right arm sweeping up and over. So yawning open into your right side. Side body stretch, feeling maybe even into the lats. And let's bring the right hand to wrap the left bicep. And with that strong now left arm, you're going to pull away with your right hand to open up space around your right shoulder blade. Really letting your rib cage rotate to the left. And then as we unwind that, we'll let the right arm now reach out to the right. Your head is tipping to the left. Spin your palm to face back behind you. Allow the arm to drape back behind you. Feel all of the space on the right side of your neck. Just letting your head give into gravity. And if it feels good for you, maybe playing with turning your gaze down toward the ground. Chin closer to your left shoulder. And then easing ourselves back up to center. Let's shift ourselves onto the knees. Moving the hips back into child's pose. Big toes can be close together. Let the knees widen away from each other or bring them close in. Allow the head to soften down. And as we stretch the arms long, let's feel that sensation of opening underside of the shoulders. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Breathe out, relaxing your jaw. And let's inhale and bring ourselves up into tabletop position. So just feeling for the lineup of your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. And we're going to step the right foot back. You can turn your back heel down and reach your right arm to the sky. So we're finding our way into like a modified side plank. Sometimes it helps for balance if you shift your left foot out to the left. And we're going to do a backstroke of the arm. Right when we surf, we have plenty of forward paddling. So let's just feel ourselves do the opposite, moving your right arm in a big circle up and back. Just to work out any stiffness or feeling around the shoulder joint. Seeing if every time we circle, we can feel it a little bit more smooth. If your circles need to be smaller, that's all good. And then we'll reach the right arm overhead, so your right bicep is going to line up over your right ear. Feel that you can press your right foot a little bit more firmly into the ground and really stretch through your right fingertips so we feel the whole right side lengthen. Maybe turning to look toward your right fingertips. And then we'll bring the right hand down and guide the right knee back underneath you. Shifting into the other side, step your left foot back, setting up the feet so you've got a stable base to work from, left arm to the sky. And then start those back strokes of the left arm. Seeing if you can find the same ease on this side through the sweep of your circular movement. And when it feels like you've evened out the number of circles side to side, we'll stretch the left arm overhead and feel that as you really press your left foot, you can reach longer through the left side and really turn on that sensation of side body opening. And then bring ourselves back into center, tabletop position. Nice. Bring the right hand into like a karate chop motion. You're karate chopping toward that upper left corner of your mat. So I want you to feel like you're actively pressing your right hand, and then we'll start to bend the left elbow back and drop your right shoulder back. So we want to feel this around the lats. Some of you might be able to come down all the way onto the left forearm. Just do something with your head that lets the neck stay relaxed. And this feeling of really pushing into that outer edge of your right hand as you draw your right shoulder back and down. We'll just treat this as an invitation to draw more breath into these places that might be feeling tighter or sore. Pulling in more breath to start that process of healing, recovery. Let's feel it one more time. Inhaling into the right shoulder. Exhaling, letting it soften back and down. And then we'll bring ourselves back up. Your right arm's going to now float out to the right. Come onto your left palm and turn your chest to the right as the right arm reaches toward the sky. Right arm will dive underneath. We're going to come to rest on the outer right shoulder and the right temple. And with your left hand, you can reach for that top edge of your mat and then let the left armpit roll down toward your mat. We're just getting ourselves now into the back of the right shoulder. Reaching length into both arms for one more breath. You can start to release by pulling your left hand closer into your face, push down to come back into your tabletop position. Nice. Let's take a few cat and cows in between sides. When you inhale, soften the belly, slide your heart forward and up. When you exhale, pressing into the hands, gripping into the fingertips, really pulling up navel into spine. Let the head spill forward. Just doing 2 more of those, really feeling breath guide. Inhale, heart up. Exhale, creating the space in your upper back, shoulder blades spreading. 1 more. Let's come back to center. Get your left hand ready for the karate chop, this time to the upper right hand corner of your mat. Setting the hand down and then starting to maybe settle onto the right forearm as you pull your left shoulder back and down. So this left hand really becomes like an anchor that you can pull back away from. So be active in the hand, not passive. Relax your head and your neck. Let's feel as if we can really direct more breath into the left shoulder. And as we press up, we're going to come onto the right palm, and now your left arm will sweep out to the left. Rotate your chest to the left. See if you can get the left arm vertical. And then we'll reach under and across, landing on the outer left shoulder and the left temple. Maybe sliding the right fingertips toward the top of the mat. So as we let more weight settle into the outer left shoulder, now you can roll your right armpit down toward the mat. We'll slowly draw ourselves back up into tabletop. Walk your hands just a little bit in front of the shoulders. We're going to tuck the toes, find downward facing dog from here. Lifting the hips, inviting the heels to drop back and down. Let's have a good spread of the fingers so we can feel that light gripping down underneath all of the fingertips. And a strong press in the hands to really elevate the hips up and back. And here too, feeling space around the shoulders as you breathe in. And exhale, dropping the heels, dropping the head into space. Bend your left knee a lot. See if you can drop the right heel back a little bit more. And then we'll switch that. Bend your right knee, sink the left heel back. Take that a couple more times, just working a little bit more space down the backs of the legs. Drop both of your heels back and down, and then let's actually lift them both. So come up onto the big toe mounds. And then with a big exhale, really drop the heels back and down. Nice. Keep your left heel sinking back. The right leg reaches up and back toward the sky. And we'll bend the right knee, draw the right foot between your hands. Let the left knee settle back and down. Nice. And if you don't have the soft sand beneath, you can always roll your mat on one side or bring a blanket or a towel beneath your left knee for more padding. And we'll see if we can get ourselves up a little bit higher, so we can feel into a nice stretch for the left hip flexors. And you're welcome to stay right here. Or let's get a little broader across the chest. We can bend both elbows, grab a hold of your opposite forearms. And if that's feeling good, you want to take it maybe a little bit further into the chest stretch. Then the palms face each other, interlace your fingers. Let your knuckles fly back as you work toward straightening your arms. And from there, you could even slide your thumbs down the back of your left thigh, maybe get a little bit more lift and opening of the chest toward the sky. And we'll slowly release that shape. I'm going to bring the hands inside of the right foot. Give yourself some space. So we'll work the right foot over to the right just a little bit more, and then turn your right toes out on a diagonal, maybe like 45 degrees. And let's let ourselves just feel here into the hip. And then we'll bring a little bit more sensation back into the shoulder. So your legs are going to stay exactly the same, but with your hands, you're going to walk off to the left. So it's as if your head is in a diagonal going toward the left, and then your right arm is going to follow that same path and reach really long out away from you. And again, just seeing if we can feel some lengthening, opening around the lats on your right side. You can keep letting your right knee press out to the right as you reach your right arm out to the left. Very similar to what we did from hands and knees, but now just adding the hip opening as well. And we'll slowly bring ourselves back up to center with the upper body. Keep the legs there just a little longer. Right arm to the sky, make it turn, open into a twist. And you can stay right here or drop the right arm back behind you, shoulder level. And you've got the option of bringing your left foot up into your right hand. And just seeing where that takes you. Sometimes adding that lever of the foot helps us open up the right side of the chest even more. It's not happening, don't worry about it. And then we'll release that. Wiggling your right foot back into center, we'll step the right foot back, come back into downward facing dog. Finding the length in your arms, your spine, your legs. Once again, let's lift both heels, come up onto the tiptoes, and then with an exhale, really sending the heels back and down, trying to tease more length into the backs of the legs. Keep your right heel heavy where it is. Let the left leg lift up toward the sky. Bending your left knee, drawing in, and stepping the left foot through. It's nice work for the pop-up. Settling your right knee down. And then you've got many options here, right, as we stay and see if we can find some more space in front of the right hip flexors. Maybe hands to the top of the left knee. Maybe as you gather your balance, Bending the elbows, grabbing a hold of opposite forearms. Or that option of interlacing the fingers, sending the hands back away from you to straighten the arms, fly the heart open. And you can even start to slide the thumbs down the back of your right thigh. Let the heart rise. Let some light in. Slowly bring ourselves back upright, releasing the hands to the inside of your left foot on this side now. Wiggle the left foot a little more to the left. Left toes are angled out 45 degrees. Pausing for a moment just to feel into the hip sensation first. And then let's add walking the upper body to the right. So you might even have your hands off that right side of your mat. Left knee is still angling more out to the left, and then this left arm is gonna follow that left diagonal line. Really reach out away until you can feel some sensation in the outer left shoulder. You can just keep your right elbow bent or maybe come down onto it. Getting a 2-for-1 shoulder and hip opener here, allowing the head to relax. Take a couple more deep breaths. And we start to bring the upper body back to center. Let your right hand stay grounded. The left arm is going to reach up toward the sky, finding the turn. And then maybe just dropping the left hand back to shoulder height, your right foot up to meet your left hand. And as you kick the foot back, if you've got it, feel that draw your left shoulder back even a little bit more. Let's release that. Come into downward facing dog. Dropping the head. Finding the open space around your shoulders. Maybe seeing if you can feel the chest press back toward your legs just a little bit more. And then we'll bring ourselves into plank position. And lowering down nice and slow, we're going to come all the way down to the belly. Bring yourself to prop up onto your forearms so we find our Sphinx position. Ideally, upper arm is vertical, but if you need to get a little more space for your back, you can let the elbows splay out a little bit wider here. We're just going to see if we can feel the shoulders pull back. Let your gaze go straight ahead for a moment, and then just another really nice neck release. Keep your shoulders drawing back, but let your chin drop forward to your chest. Check in here. You might unconsciously be holding onto your glutes, so relax. Let the heels roll out away from each other. Nothing happening in the legs. And just feeling the length in the back of the neck. Such a nice counter for all of the looking forward that we do when we're paddling or looking back over the shoulder at the wave coming behind you. And just finding this length in the back of the neck now. And sometimes it can be really nice too to let your chin move a little bit side to side, keeping your head tipped forward. It's as if your chin becomes like a little pendulum that slowly swings between each shoulder, and you might find a little sore spot somewhere along the way. You might want to stay. Take a couple extra breaths. Guide your chin back to center, starting to lift the gaze, and we're just going to turn the hands to face each other so that the forearms are crossed. We're going to bring the right forearm in front of the left, and then start to walk your hands wide out away from each other. We're going for this elongated X shape. And allow your head to rest on that top arm. And then you can see what works well for you. I like to turn the palms up. Let's see what's better. And again, just checking in that you're not holding on in other parts of the body. The legs are at ease. No squeeze in the glutes. And even taking a pause to really soften through your eyes, your forehead, your jaw.
Really noticing where you feel the sensation around your upper arms. And again, just feeling as if we can breathe right into those places. Last breath here. Start by lifting the weight of your head up off of your arms. Your right knee you're going to bend out to the right. So the inner right knee and the inner ankle are down. So it's kind of like a little frog leg on your right side. And then release your right arm out to the right. The right arm's going to reach up and then go back behind you. So you're rolling onto your back. And it's going to be like a balance between your right knee and your right arm, like a teeter-totter. So just find that place where it feels good for you. For me, my right knee is hovering just above the ground. My right arm is floating just above the ground. And it gives me a really nice sensation of stretch in the right side of the chest. But if you wanted to, you could let your right knee lift a little bit more so that the right arm can drop, or vice versa. Feeling the way your breath moves between your belly and your chest. Letting your right arm trace like a rainbow shape up and over to bring us back onto the belly. Send your right leg straight back behind you. And then let's just switch the cross of the arms. So we're going to have the left forearm in front of the right. Walk your hands out away from each other. Create that elongated X. And then just settling maybe a little more weight of the head onto the top arm. Option to let the palms face up. Lower body fully at ease. And the support of the ground beneath you, letting your body weight sink into that. Let's move into the twist on this side. So starting to lift the weight of the head. Your left knee will bend now out to the left. Float the left arm out, up, and back to roll onto your upper back, finding that sweet spot for you, wherever that is. Letting now the left side of your chest, the pecs on that side, get the same amount of space you found on the right. And then we'll slowly sweep the arm back around, straighten through both legs. And let's just flip ourselves over onto the back from here. You can recenter yourself on your mat. Bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug in. Maybe even pulling the nose toward the knees. On the extension we do lying on the surfboard, it's nice to curl ourselves up into a little ball to take that opposite shape for a moment. And then letting the head drop back if it's lifted. Allow your legs to drop nice and long. Turning the palms up so it helps the shoulders drop back and down, and just taking a few moments of rest. Really feeling the shoulders sink back and down. Letting your breath wash through you, wash over you, like the ocean. And again, that reminder, you're mostly water. So let's let ourselves feel into that quality. When you feel ready, you
can just start by turning the head slowly side to side. And maybe finding a full body stretch, your arms reaching up overhead. Point the toes, stretch the fingertips. And nice and slow, we'll bring ourselves up to a seated position. Any comfortable seat. A couple shoulder rolls back and down. And pausing for a moment just to feel the change, the shift. I hope your shoulders are feeling good. If you're heading for a surf, I hope you have a great session. And if you'd like to practice with me again, hit like and subscribe and leave a comment. I would love to hear what kind of classes you'd like to see more of. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your day or evening. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste.